This time last year, many of us attended the People's Climate March in Washington, D.C. Other sister events were held in Montpelier, across the country, and all over the world. Since then, we have seen other non-violent gatherings marching the streets, including the very successful March for Our Lives, led by the youth of our nation last month. Yoo-hoo! Our voices are being heard by those in leadership positions, so we need to keep advocating for social justice issues until things change at the top. Grassroots action is where it is right now, and we need to gather together to make a difference. Today, this is a much smaller gathering, but with the same principles in mind: nonviolence, environmental and social justice, support for those who need the most help. The Northshire environmental justice group Earth Matters was formed last March and has a membership ranging across generations. The group is a branch of 350.org, a global environmental organization founded in the 80s by our very own Vermonter and Middlebury College professor, Bill McKibben. Earth Matters spearheaded town meeting resolution campaigns this year in 7 towns, which were successfully passed in Manchester, Dorset, Weston, Peru, Shaftesbury, and Arlington. A total of 35 Vermont towns passed climate action resolutions and are taking the next steps by forming town energy committees and making a difference. We are all aware of the wildfires in the Northwest, the sea level rise in Florida, Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria. Some Vermonters experienced the damage of Hurricane Irene in 2011, which is still having an effect on our economy and our environment even now. Our country is not resilient enough to keep up with these catastrophic weather events. We need to lobby our states, our political leaders in Washington and the White House administration to invest in renewable energy and resilient infrastructure, especially in frontline locations where low-income people cannot afford to make change themselves. We need incentives to grow a green economy and expand solar, wind, biomass, hydro, electric vehicles and charging stations, and other renewables which in the long term will save us money on our heating bills and transportation. This is a transition period. There will be a demand for fossil fuels until we can turn this around, but change needs to start happening today in small steps, then bigger steps, until the country is 100% running off renewable energy and fossil fuels are a thing of the past. We are rapidly rising towards an increase of 2 degrees centigrade above the Earth's normal temperature, at which point we could see the planet descending into a downward spiral of catastrophic weather events and a total change in what humankind has known until now. It means a gradual decrease in supply of crops, water, animal species, and an increase towards extreme temperatures resulting in desertification in most equatorial regions and beyond. It means huge numbers of migrants and probable territorial wars across the planet. If we reach 6 degrees, it is highly unlikely we'll be able to survive. Think of what has happened in Syria, which is prompted partly by climate change, and multiply that by the number of people living on the planet today. We are already using LED electric bulbs, moving toward zero waste by composting and reducing waste in landfills, recycling and resisting plastics. There are bigger moves we can make. Weatherize your home. It is possible now to get a free or a low-cost energy audit for your home and loans to make your home more resilient against the cold and heat and lower your heating and air conditioning costs. Soon the state will provide electric vehicle charging stations and invest in electric public transportation for schools and communities funded by the Volkswagen settlement. So look into purchasing your own electric vehicle. Reduce your consumption of meat. A 1% reduction in global meat consumption is the equivalent to a $3 trillion investment in solar energy. If we all stopped eating meat, think what great things we could do for the planet. The federal government is still offering incentives to install solar panels, but will soon stop these incentives. So now is the time to purchase or get a loan for solar installation, either on your roof or mounted in your yard. Join organizations like Earth Matters and advocate, organize, and take action to mitigate climate change. Our children, and the next generations are depending on us. Don't delay. Start today. On behalf of Earth Matters, thank you.